Welcome back to another Virgo Girl recommendation, Halloween style. You know what? Since Halloween is coming up, I decided to come on here and do a kind of Halloweenish movie. It's not the scariest movie in the world, but it is a great movie to watch on Halloween. I know people usually binge watch movies on Halloween, and that's the reason why I'm recommending this one. I do know that there are ones that are better to be recommended that are scarier, but I'm going to recommend this one because I like it. And I'll give you a hint. They're all gonna laugh at you. Carrie is the movie. Let me tell you something. This movie is so old, but it's such a classic. I just feel like it's just a classic movie. And it's a movie that is so great to watch around this time. It's just a great fall, Halloweenish type movie. So the movie has Sissy Spacek, who I loved when she was younger. So it has her in the movie, and she's, of course, the star. The movie is more creepy than it is scary, but it's very creepy, guys. Just very creepy and weird. So I do think it will go great with your Halloween list of movies that you're watching this year. And if you have seen it, watch it again, because it's one of those movies that you can watch again. It doesn't matter. It's just great. It's definitely, you guys, it looks old. You can tell the movie was made in 1976. So, of course, it's going to look old and dated. I think that was 45 years ago. So, yes. That's going to look very dated and old, but it's so worth it. The cast of the movie it feels very retro. Okay, that's what I can say about it. It feels retro. But John Travolta is in the movie. A young John Travolta is in the movie. Sissy Spacek, young. So it's interesting to see these people, when they're young, because most of the movies that we've seen them in, they're old, they're very old. So it's kind of cool to see them in, when they were kids and how they looked, back then and everything. They look very different, of course. But the one thing about this movie that I like is that it explored how some parents, because, I feel like the relatable thing in this movie is how some parents who are so religious and so strict can kind of confine children in a way that is unhealthy, to where they don't even know the basic things in life that they should know. And I'll give you an example. This movie, as far as spoilers go, I'm not going to do all the spoilers, but I mean, this movie has been out so long, so much of what is in this movie, they're all going to laugh at you, all that stuff. People have used it, and I'm sure you've seen once you watch the movie, you'll be like, oh yeah, I was always wondering why people were saying this kind of thing, So the one part of the movie that was crazy was she was a a teenager, and she ended up getting her cycle. She was on her period, and she didn't even know what that was. She had no clue. She thought she was dying or something. And it's crazy, because her mom was so religious, she never even talked to her about that. And then once she, her mom almost shamed her for getting that. And that was just a normal part of being a woman. So it was just crazy. That part was just really crazy. But I think that part is something that people deal with, especially back in the day. I feel like my mom has even told me stories about things that had happened to her when she was younger. And it's wow, my grandmother, just the things that she was so naive about, that she didn't know about herself because she wasn't taught it. So it's crazy, but a lot of times I know we look at different members of our families, whether it's your parents, grandparents, whatever, and you're like, oh my God, you're so out of touch, what have you. But these people, everyone has a certain capacity to do what they can do. And it's based upon what they were taught. And a lot of these people were taught, they either weren't taught anything or they were taught something that was just ignorant and crazy, So that's basically how they live their lives unless they branch out and get educated and, you know, maybe meet other people that can educate them if they're willing to listen. But a lot of times back in the day, people weren't willing to listen. They went by what their family said and they kind of stuck to it. And a lot of people, like way back in the days, in the 30s and 40s and things like that, they weren't really, you know, depending upon where they were from, but a lot of them didn't have like a lot of education. They didn't have a huge group of people that could just be really hip and cool and tell them, hey, this is crazy what you're doing, or this is crazy what you're saying. They didn't know how to be open-minded or how to branch out and see other different aspects of life, because they only knew what they knew, and they were taught that this is the way to go. Anything else is out of line. So it just makes me happy that today, you know, a lot of things about this generation are, I'm just like, what? But a lot of things I'm like, okay, this is great, because it opens people's minds. It opens up, you know, the idea for people to broaden their horizons and stop being stuck in a rut and being ignorant, you know, about so many things. So the one good thing about technology and, you know, kids being exposed to more things today is that they do have access to educate themselves on more than just what happens in their town, if they happen to be from a town of 5,000 people, you know? So I thought that kind of like brought me back around to today and the benefits of some of the things that, you know, we have out today, as opposed to what people were working with, you know, back in the day, and which is not much. People did what they knew, and, you know, that was from, you know, what their parents taught them. And the farther back you go, the less educated, the less, you know, access to certain things a lot of people had. So it's just crazy how, anyway, that's it. It's just crazy how some people were raised, and then they in turn project that onto their children. And then they're, you know, that's why, you know, it's good to see today a lot of those cycles are broken. A lot of parents are like, oh no, I'm not going to put my kids through what I went through. I'm going to be more understanding. I'm going to be more open-minded. I'm going to be more this and that. So I think that's great that we're living in different times now than before. And that movie just made me think about that. Like, oh my God, her mom didn't even tell her about, you know, hey, you know, talk to her about, you know, a very natural thing that happens to women, because it was she looked at it like it was a sin or something, like the girl had did something sinful. So that was crazy. Anyway, check out this movie, Carrie. It's a great movie to watch. You're going to just get a kick out of how, just the acting, just the cheesiness of it all. Get yourself a big bowl of popcorn and just chill. Turn the lights out and watch it. It's a cool movie to check out during this time of year. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up. This is my recommendation, Carrie. I may be back, guys, with another scarier movie. I'm not too sure yet, because I have some other movies that I want to put out. But for sure, check this one out. Until next time, guys, don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe. And to all of you who have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I will continue to bring content. Comment below. Let me know if you've seen Carrie, if you like it, or if you haven't watched it. If you do watch it, comment and let me know if you thought it was a good choice, a good recommendation. All right, guys. Peace.